Let's start with Kyle Bond. Go ahead, Kyle.
Thank you very much, guys. It's great to see you both, and I've got something for each of you. Pat, you picked up where you left off on the field since coming back to your club, which is pretty incredible, just considering how long you were out. What do you attribute that to? Being able to jump right back in once you do get on the field and being able to contribute right away. And Mal, you and I spoke before the World Cup last year, and you mentioned to me that there was a time early in your rehab where you thought you would make it back for that tournament. Can you talk about how maybe you kind of slowed yourself down and gave you, the timeline that your body needed to recover at some point?
Thank you for the kind words, first and foremost. I feel very blessed and just fortunate to be in the club environment that I am right now, and that they allow me to, shine in the best way that I can. I still feel like there's a lot of work to be done. Obviously, I'm very happy to have been able to contribute and make a good impact in the few times I've come off the bench. But I do really attribute that to, just how, just Chelsea has been tremendous in just trying to, help me get back on the pitch without rushing me and, just like really working with me. And I do feel like a lot of it as well is due to God and just, just how much he has just been there for me and just like given me strength during this hard time, which was probably the hardest period of my life. So I feel like there are many, many things that I can attribute that to, but yeah, I hope to keep it going and to do that with the national team as well.
Mallory?
Yeah. There was a time right after I got my first surgery that I thought I could be at the World Cup. I remember texting my surgeon and being like, how long is this recovery? And he was like, 6 months. And I was like, I can make it 4. Like, I'm going to do it. And then I had a second surgery. And then I think that was the point that like really slowed me down. And looking back at it, I'm very thankful for how everything worked out because ultimately I learned a lot about life. I've never gone through something like what I went through. And yeah, I think it gave me some time to kind of like just evaluate myself, evaluate my life, and also just like kind of take a step back and enjoy honestly being with my husband in Chicago. And so yeah, I think ultimately it worked out how it was supposed to be.
Fair enough. Let's go to Andrew Jones.
Thank you much, as always, Aaron. First for you, Kat. What's been a thing over in London that you've been able to enjoy as you got to be able to recover and now have come back in sensational form? And for you, Mal, as Atlanta and Georgia area may have been a second home for you after growing up in Denver throughout the years, what's been your favorite thing to do in the ATL area as well as being able to play there in front of the Atlanta crowd?
I'd say for me, what I've been able to enjoy the most is just the fact that, well, first when I got there, obviously I wasn't playing, so I got to experience London a little bit as a tourist. And that was like really fun. I had a lot of friends and family come visit me, which definitely made the time go by faster. And so, just got to explore the city a little bit, like go to a few like jazz clubs or like comedy clubs or just like see a few musicals, which are just like things that I love, like what Kat the person likes to do. So that was like something that I found really fun and entertaining, and just has made me very happy.
Mal, being back in Atlanta?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of homes, but Dansby and I always say like Atlanta is our main home. That's where our family and that's where our friends are. And our careers have taken us elsewhere, but Atlanta is always home. I think one thing I love about this city is just that I've learned after being here for the past few years is just the amount of culture that there is within the city. And I think that's so exciting. And favorite things to do. I mean, I don't do a lot. I honestly just like sit at home in the couch. But like I said, like our family and our friends are here. So it's just been nice to be back and be able to like see them all.
She went to an occasional Braves game. That's what she did.
Yeah, I went to a lot of Braves games.
Steph Young, go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron. For both of you, I mean, Katarina, obviously you can talk to Emma, but Mal with Lauren in Chicago, I'm just wondering how far out you guys started discussing and trying to coordinate like the loading and looking ahead to She Believes. Again, not taking for granted that you might be on our roster, but just like the planning that kind of went into the timing around this, especially with Japan, I think being like a really delicious test.
Sorry, is that, Steph, is that the loading for both players?
Both players,
Yeah.
please, if
Go
possible.
ahead, yep.
Well, in terms of loading, I let, the experts deal with that. And then they tell me, like the plan. I know that Chelsea and US Soccer's, they're basically having meetings all the time, and just trying to figure out, the right way to manage me and in order to allow me to be in this environment for as long as possible. And, considering that I've been out for so long, we do have to take certain things into consideration. So yeah, I kind of just take it day by day, and I'm currently just enjoying being back with my teammates.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just hope that we can have a good game on Saturday against Japan.
And Mal, I think you played 90?
I did.
Yeah.
I just got 90 in.
Okay.
Yeah. Whew, that was like a welcome back. I forgot how hard that is. But yeah, I think the same thing. I think with US Soccer and then with the Red Stars and talking to Lauren, I think the timing actually worked out pretty well. Just being able to use preseason and those preseason games as games that I can build minutes in. And I'm very thankful that I never felt rushed by any side. I felt supported throughout the whole time. And I think ultimately, like I said, I think the timing worked out pretty well.
Let's go to Steve Goff. Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, Mal. Wanted to ask you about what the interaction has been with Corbin in camp and how the players and the coaching staff have handled this, certainly a sensitive situation, and how you move forward from this.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the question, but we're going to just let what Alex and Lindsay said. And like what they said, we've had internal conversations, and I think ultimately those just stay internal.
Great. Thanks, Mal.
Yep.
Thanks, Steve. Let's go to Ann Killian.
Hi, thank you. Katarina, it's like you said, it's been a long time since you've been on the field, and I'm just wondering how you have managed your emotions, expectations, disappointments during those almost 2 years, and also what was it like for you to watch the World Cup last summer, and what was your feeling? Where were you while what was going on?
Well, first during the World Cup, I was in London, actually, still, working, rehabbing and whatnot. So that was definitely difficult to watch, obviously, as, both Mal and I wish that we could have been there. But like she said, I think sometimes you kind of need to take things into perspective. And I feel like everything works out for a reason, and, I think the way that I've been able to cope has just been, just really leaning on my support system. Like my friends and family, like I said, have come and visited me, and that helped a lot. It was actually quite sunny over the summer, actually, in London, which helped a lot too. Felt like I was a little bit back home in San Diego or Brazil. And yeah, I mean, I just, just try to just focus on the little things that I could control. And obviously it did take a lot longer than I expected, which was devastating. But, the most important thing is that now I'm back, and I hope that I can contribute to the team as much as possible, leading up to the Olympics and, this tournament as well. And yeah, I just feel like I've been very, very blessed with all the people around me, just showing so much support and love and not feeling rushed to come back, even though I could have had 2 children by now. But yeah, I just, yeah, I'm very thankful.
She didn't.
Not. That is not the reason why I left.
No.
Yeah.
But I could have.
Surprise.
Yeah,
We are in Atlanta, so let's go to
Here's my
Doug from the
chance.
AJC.
Yeah, right.
Doug from the AJC. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, for both players, can you just tell us what are your expectations for this match in Atlanta? Is it playing time? Is it starting? What is it you hope to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, the expectation is we're in a tournament. We have 2 games, and I think the first game is we need to win. And it might sound super simple, but I think keeping it that simple as we need to win this game to move on to a final, I think is kind of the way to look at that. And however we can contribute to helping the team achieve that, we'll probably try our best and do that.
Let's go to Lakin Littman. Go ahead, Lakin.
Thanks, Aaron. First for Mallory, what is it like just sitting here? You're back with the national team, knowing that about a year ago you were ramping up for the World Cup, and of course you got injured, and now you're here again trying to make an Olympics roster. How would you describe your emotions of just being back here in camp, ready to make another comeback? And then for Kat, you mentioned leaning on your support system, your friends and your family. I'm wondering how maybe Emma Hayes specifically has helped you, or maybe even advised you through this journey, and maybe what can you share about what she told you as you hoped and worked so hard to get back into the national team environment? Thanks.
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is just being grateful. One thing that I learned throughout my injury was that you can't ever take life for granted. You can't take your health for granted. And so ever since then, I've kind of had a new perspective on that. And I feel like it's always, when something's taken away from you, you always have a new perspective on it. So yeah, I'm very just grateful to be back in this environment, back with this team and wearing the crest, because it means so much.
Kat, has Emma nudged you along?
She has. Yeah, Emma's been very supportive during this whole time. Obviously, like, no one wants to go into a new club environment being injured. And, I think even the fact that she chose to recruit me while I was still, rehabbing and making a comeback speaks a lot as to, I like to think how much she values me, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, she's been, I think like she's kind of known for just like the way that she manages her players and the way that she like does not rush anyone back. And, she's been very, very supportive during this whole time. We've had a few hard conversations, sometimes when perhaps I was not making the best decisions. But yeah, she definitely, has given me a lot of like tough love, which I really appreciate. And yeah, I just am very, very thankful for her, and like from the very beginning. And yeah, I just hope to, kind of repay her in that way, both for Chelsea and in the future with the national team.
Let's go to Meg Linehan. Go ahead, Meg.
Hey there, Kat. Sorry, I instantly raised my hand when you brought up musicals. I'm just kind of curious to know what you were attending out in London. What your musical vibe is.
So I've seen Hamilton twice so far. That was really good.
I need to see that.
Yeah, highly recommend. I mean, just before London, I had gone to see like The Lion King and the like
Dude.
Broadway, Les Mis, Matilda, so
Oh
Phantom
my
of the Opera.
gosh.
I know,
Wow.
yeah. So
But not Cats.
Not
Cats.
Cats.
I think I have enough cats. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Jeff Kassouf. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks both for doing this. I'm wondering, this is a very different team than
you were in, I guess, the last time you both were healthy, and just the dynamics, obviously the coaching, there's new players in. Do you feel like that's helpful in any way, and that you're coming into a newer place where things are sort of being figured out again, or is it, any more difficult to pick up into something new that, you're not continuing on with, some of the same ideas that you left?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's obviously new players. We're in this time of, we're kind of in this like transition period, I feel like people have been saying. But I think anytime you come into a national team environment, there's always a standard that you need to meet. And so for me personally, I've definitely have had, just like tactically and technically, you just kind of have to get caught up to speed, kind of at a faster pace, and that's just like taking extra time out of your day to get caught up to speed, to kind of remember how things work and how we play and this and that. So yeah.
Ryan Tolmich, go ahead.
Thank you. This one's for Kat. I wanted to ask again about Emma, just because so many people here are so interested in what she's like day to day, and all of the things she does as a coach that make her different and make her ready for this job. So for you, do you have any insight or stories or memories of the things you've seen with her that made you kind of go all right, I get it. I see why she is the coach that she is.
I mean, she's quite the character, I'll say that. But yeah, I mean, she's just, a serial winner. I feel like she challenges us every single day, and I do feel like she'll make our national team even better. She does bring a different perspective coming from Europe, and she has been here in the U.S. as well before, so that's something nice that will be, I feel like we can implement into our game. And yeah, I mean, I feel like she just really takes care of the little things that come into winning and just dominating the game, really. Not only just those 2 hours that we are on the pitch. I do feel like she focuses on so many things, honestly. Things that I sometimes never even imagined. And I feel like that's what makes her the best. She has an incredible personality that I'm sure you guys will love. And yeah, and just
Yeah, I was gonna say, everyone on this call will find out soon enough.
yeah, you guys will find out soon enough.
Jonathan Tanwell, go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, guys, as always, for the time. These are both for Kat. The first question is, we saw from afar what it was like when you stepped back on the field for Chelsea. What was that like, and what do you think it's going to be like when you finally step back onto the field for the U.S.? And also, I'd like to ask about Lily Johannes. I know you weren't on the field with her for quite at the same time in the Chelsea Ajax series. You were in the building with her for a few minutes, and I'm sure you've watched some film of her and whatnot, and what you've made of her, and you've got the talk to this week. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I guess fortunately for me, I did not play against Lily. But yeah, she's a tremendous player, really sweet girl. I honestly cannot believe that she's 16. She's just, she just reads the game so well, and you can really see that. Ajax they had a tremendous run in the Champions League, and I do feel like that was a lot thanks to her. And obviously the rest of her team, but I do feel like she made a great impact. And yeah, she was just telling me how last year she was still in the reserve team. I'm like, oh my God, how is that possible? She's so good, so I'm really happy for her, that she's in this environment now. And, I remember joking around with her after the first game, and I was like, oh, you're American, right? Do you want to join us or something like that? And then I find out a few days later that she was called into camp. So that was really sweet. And then, sorry, what was your first question again?
Just for yourself, what it felt like to get back on the field with Chelsea, and what you think it's going to be like when you finally get back out there on the field for the U.S. Thanks.
Yeah. well, obviously, it just really felt like a dream, just felt surreal. It almost, looking back in the 641 days that he took, it kind of just like, it just kind of all happened in the blink of an eye, if that makes sense. I was like, oh, okay, so we're playing now. And yeah, that was just something that I just felt I felt like crying, but at the same time, like not, because I was like, well, first of all, I'm in public and I hate crying in public. But it just, it was just like there were so many emotions there that I obviously knew that I had been working towards that for a while. But I think it was probably the biggest thing was just getting over that mental hurdle that I was like, okay, I'm safe, like I'm good to play again, like I got this. And, just to kind of like rip off the band-aid, I guess, just really like felt surreal. And obviously to have scored, I was like not expecting that at all. I was just kind of like, well, I'm just happy to be on the pitch again, and
Oh, yeah.
to be with my teammates. And then like when that happens, I'm like, oh my God, like this is fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like how I feel for the national team as well. Like obviously it's a huge honor to represent the US and to wear the jersey. But yeah, I'm just, I feel like I'm just grateful above everything just to be here again, and yeah, just hope to do well and to make a good impact on the pitch.
Well said, Katarina. Annie Peterson, if you have one for Mal, this is the last one for her because we got to let her go. If you have one for Kat, Mal can go.
I had one for Kat. I'm sorry, Mal.
No, you can ask Mal a question, don't worry.
Mal's got to go. We'll take the last few for Kat. If you have one,
Thanks, everyone.
thank you. If your
Bye,
questions
Mal.
aren't for Kat, you can lower your hand. But go ahead, Ann.
Hey, Katarina. I just wanted to ask you, for you personally, how has playing overseas benefited you as a player?
I mean, I feel like, you definitely get exposed to different styles of play, because, like it's not necessarily just, oh, like you only play against, French teams before, or like English teams before, like, you do get a mix of everything. And you do play against, the best players in the world every single day, basically. So I feel like I've definitely grown in that and just been exposed to different environments, to different styles of play that I hope to just be able to bring into the national team, and so that we can keep pushing forward. And yeah.
Yeah, a lot of different languages over there.
True.
All right, Donald Line, go ahead.
Thank you, and Kat, welcome back to the team. I know you're excited to be back in the fold and back from injury. Looking ahead to the actual competition on Saturday against Japan, what's the one thing that you guys have been focusing on when preparing to deal with them? And in light of Aaron's comment that the game is going to be with 45,000 in the stands or more, how does that affect things when you guys are on the field?
Obviously it's exciting to, be playing against a team like Japan and to be playing in such a tremendous stadium and, have that type of crowd. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. And I feel like, that does help motivate us, but we're focused on ourselves, first and foremost, that's something that we're really trying to work on. And, we know the abilities that Japan has, and there's like such a quality team. They're beautiful to watch, but at the same time, it's like we have to really just like focus on ourselves and, just trying to find our identity and, just put ourselves in the best foot forward in order to get to the final, but also, leading up to the Olympics as well, and just trying to, get back to winnings.
Well said, Katarina. Last two for Kat goes to Henry Bushnell and then Sandra. Go ahead, Henry.
Why did Mal get to leave?
Because she had her thing. She had to go.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we haven't
I'm
heard from you in 2 years and we love you. So here we go. Henry, go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron. And Kat, I really appreciate your time and openness. You've mentioned a couple times that it took longer than expected to get back from the injury. When it first happened, were you given a timeline by medical folks for when you might be able to get back? And then, like, at what point did you realize that it was going to take longer? And did that feeling of it taking longer than expected add to the mental and emotional stress of what you've been through?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, as Mao mentioned previously as well, like the medical staff always says like, okay, this is how long we expect you to be out for, how long the recovery is supposed to be. And yeah, I mean, in no way did I ever kind of like set my mind to a specific time frame. Like obviously you expect to be back by a certain number of months, especially with this type of injury. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I was just focused on making it to the World Cup and just trying to, you know, get fit and to get healthy in order to help my team. But yeah, I think I'd say when eventually started to get a little bit too soon, that it just made sense that, you know, it wouldn't be in my best interest to try and go, just because I obviously wouldn't have been playing with my team at the time, which was Lyon. And yeah, I just don't think that it would have been a good, that would have been just like, you know, unnecessary pressure in the way that I had not exposed my body to in probably 9 months to a year, you know. So it was the best thing for me long term to just sit it out. And yeah, obviously it took a little bit longer than that as well, but yeah, everything happens for a reason. And you know, I think I've definitely grown more as a player and as a person because of it. And yeah, you just can't ever take anything for granted. I'm just happy to be back playing again.
So yes, it was mentally tough.
It was very mentally tough.
But
yeah.
she's back. She's back.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Sandra, last one. Go ahead.
Thanks again, Kat, for doing this. You've been so gracious with your time. Just with the parallels between you and Mal and this lengthy, long return back, we might have to go a little bit in the Wayback Machine to remember when you guys played together, but you guys were really kind of slicing and dicing it up on the pitch the last time you two were able to kind of link up and combine together. What has it been like kind of navigating this long return back, kind of alongside her as she's been battling her own injury rehab? And what do you think about the possibility of the two of you finally being able to link back up again in SheBelievesCup?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously Mal's I mean, there are no words to describe how good Mal is, honestly. She makes us so much better, and you know, she's the type of player that you always want to play with. And you know, though I got injured a little bit before her, I was just absolutely gutted for her because she was really in the form of her life leading up to the World Cup. And I have no doubt that she'll get there again, and that we'll hopefully keep slicing and dicing the competition again soon. But yeah, I'm just super happy to see her back. She's a great person too. So you just like really in a way it's like emotional, you know, just for us to be both back together after so long. And you know, like Hive said, it will be should we play, it will be a year for her, 2 years for me, since our last games. But yeah, she's very happy for her and very happy for our nation, most importantly, and for the national team that she's back. And yeah, I just hope that we can go back to doing what we love doing and to do it well too, represent the crest well.
All right. Well, that was an awesome welcome back Zoom for Katarina. Thank you, everybody. And we'll
Thanks,
talk to you
guys.
soon.